Morning, everybody. Welcome to Dan All Over the Place. It is Thursday, the 20th of November. Um, so I start the change challenge in, hang on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days. Sorry, I'm still getting over a cold caused by the great waters of Timpy Town Lake. uh, so, the change challenge. It is a challenge to you, the viewer, the listener, however you're receiving this, to change one thing that you believe is causing you to be, let's just say, not as fulfilled as you could be in your life. Okay, whatever that one thing is. Maybe it's your job. You didn't get the promotion you wanted, or you're in a job that you hate and you want to make a change and you're scared to. So I'm challenging you to just change one thing. If you're overweight, or unhealthy, or you want to achieve something physically but you don't think you can, so you just sit there and don't do anything, I'm challenging you to change one thing to work towards whatever that is. This primarily would be for someone who sits at a desk, eats fast food a lot, likes sweets and candies, has them in their drawer, maybe at work, and they snack on them. A bad eater, eats a lot of processed foods, sandwiches, that kind of thing. To make just one change. Or maybe you are a little heavy on the alcohol, or maybe partaking in this newfound freedom of cannabis being legal here throughout the country in different places, specifically here in Arizona. And you've noticed since you started using it, your life has just kind of plateaued and become mundane, or even started to decline because you get home, you smoke or eat gummies or a brownie or whatever, and you just turn into a blob on the couch. And not a whole lot's happening in your life other than that. And maybe watching Netflix. I know because I've been there. So this is the challenge. The challenge is to find the thing that's causing you to not succeed in what your brain thinks you should do. I mean, let's say that it's going to a tropical paradise for a vacation, and you just can't manage to save enough money at any given point in time to achieve that. So the change challenge doesn't just encompass, stopping bad habits. It encompasses making a change to work toward what you want out of your life. Um, I'm sure somebody's told you this. You got one shot at this, and it's over. So you better do something now before it's too late, and you convince yourself that it's too late. It's never too late. Uh, I got divorced in 2016. I stopped riding my bike. I stopped doing triathlons. I gained probably 60 pounds within a year and a half. Started drinking. Then, when weed became legal, I started smoking, and I honestly thought it was over. 4 years ago, I sold my uh, bike that some of you know, named Pedro. Um, Gave my jerseys and riding gear to Goodwill, and I posted on Facebook I was done. Never ever gonna do this again. Well, here we are, 2025. In the last 2 years, I've done 7,500 miles in training to do the Ironman that I just did. It's never over. It's never over until somebody puts you in a casket. So as you're sitting here watching this, figure out what that one change is going to be so that you can step toward this idea that you have that you don't think you can achieve. And we're going to do this together. So on Monday, my one thing is I'm going to drop my carbohydrate intake down to under 100 grams a day. Okay. I've done it before. That's how I lost the 60 pounds. I need to get back down to what I call my race weight, which is 138 to 142 pounds. As of Sunday morning, I was 163. So I posted the change challenge on YouTube a couple days ago. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. I'll put a link after this video so you can watch it. I haven't stepped on the scale since Sunday morning. I was 163 pounds. So since then, I have started to think about less carbohydrates. You need to start weaning yourself off of them. And I stepped on the scale this morning. I was 157. Now, yes, all of that, and I mean all of that, was probably water weight. I did burn like 7,200 calories or whatever it was during Ironman, but I was eating about 100 grams an hour, not just a day, an hour in fuel to propel myself to do this. I'm not gonna lie, I've had a headache the last couple of days, and I've been craving something that I can't fill. I hate that feeling because it makes me overeat because I just start shoving anything and everything in my mouth. So anyway, that's my one thing. I'm gonna cut back down to 100 grams. I'm already mentally preparing myself to do this, and we're 4 days out. So when Monday hits, my brain knows this is the deal I made. We're sticking to this come hell or high water. So that's what I want you to do. Let's say that you smoke and you don't want to smoke anymore. Let's say you smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. Okay, we'll make one change. Try to cut that down to where you smoke a pack every 2 days. Even if it's just a small little tweak. Walk around the block once. Whatever it is, just make one small little change, and you run with that for 2 weeks. Okay, this is how I've done this. You make one change. Sorry. You run with it for 2 weeks, and then you make another change, and you continue to do the first change, and you do another change, and you run that 2 weeks, and then you make another one, and you run that for 2 weeks while you're still doing the first two changes, and you keep changing something that progresses you towards your goal, whether that's weight loss, vacation, just generally being healthier, not drinking as much, not smoking as much, not eating as much, whatever it is. Just do the one change to work toward your goal and do that. Now, I'm going to go for weight. Okay, right now my BMI is 24. So I am right on the verge of being overweight. I'm 5'8". If you do the BMI calculator, that's what I come up at. Okay, when I'm 163 pounds, I am considered overweight. I agree with that. There are some people that will argue and don't agree with that. I'm sorry, I do. I have 64 pounds of muscle on me. I have 8 pounds of bones. I am 55% water, and the rest of it is fat, around 24, 25%, I believe it said on the scale this morning. So just to put that into context for you, I have about 23 pounds of weight to lose before I get to the low end of my BMI, which is like 21, 22, and that's at about 7.5% body fat. Okay? If I would have weighed that weight during this Ironman, I bet I could have done that 2 hours faster. Minimum 2 hours faster. So my suffering would have been 2 hours less. It would have been 23 pounds less impact on my knee, my ankles, my hips. I would have went up the hill faster. May have came down the hill a little slower because I didn't weigh. I didn't, weigh enough because there is a thing called gravity. but I would have had more muscle and ability to push harder. My heart wouldn't have been working as hard. So get this, and I've known this for a very long time. For every 1 pound of body fat you have, your body has to create an additional 5 to 7 miles of vessels to keep that fat alive. 10 pounds would require 50 to 70 miles. So that means 120, or excuse me, 23 pounds would be, what would that be? 100. Well, at 20 pounds, it would be 100 to what? 200 and, no. How much would that be? 140? 130? Extra miles of vessels to keep that fat alive. That's how much harder my heart would have had to work just to push that fluid, blood flow through and feed the nutrition that's just extra weight. That's astounding. So that's what I'm going to do, because I want to be lighter for mountain bike season. And then I want to go into this next season, which I still haven't made up my mind if I'm going to do my shoulder surgery after mountain bike surgery and spend the rest of the year recovering, or if I'm going to go after something else. I'm just focusing on dropping 23 pounds and getting ready for mountain bike season that starts in 2 months-ish. Before, when I did my weight loss and started this 2 years ago, I was losing 0.33 pounds on average a day. So I'll do the math and figure out what that would be, so I at least have a idea on reality as far as what I think I can lose in the next 2-ish months. Reality is a very good thing. That brings me to my next comment. Most people will quit because reality of the situation gets in the way, and they did it for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it is, and they've plateaued or stopped. So they quit because they get discouraged. In order for you to be successful, I was reading this article the other day. It said you must fail anywhere from 15 to 18 times in order for you to be successful at something. Think about that. You fail once, you learn a little bit, you apply what you learned, a little bit more, and it's a process. But in the automotive world, when I would go into a shop and we had problems, we would start with putting in processes. My lungs are on fire, by the way. You would start with a process, and you would slowly start methodically refining the process to get rid of the problems. That's what a lot of owners or managers don't understand. You can't just wake up the next day and have what you want. It's a process. You did not get in this position overnight. So if you think you're going to get out of this position overnight, you crazy. It's not going to happen. Okay? It's a process. Trust the process. The rewards will happen. Oop, we lost Lorraine. Come on. There we go. Trust the process. Stick with the process. If you have a problem with the process, reach out to somebody and talk to somebody about the process. Get some motivation from an external source toward your process. That's completely human. A lot of these new weight loss plans have a coach that just helps you to, get you back on the track, so to speak. I had one. She helped me out tremendously. I also had a coach, and I had a training friend, training buddy, whatever you want to call it, that also kept me on track in that regard. So you need a team behind you that's supportive. You don't want the husband or the wife that gets jealous because of your success and decides to derail you. If you have that, I really hate to tell you this, but you should leave them. I had that. It was not good. I was married to somebody that would get pissed if I passed them on a bike and actually went out and trained. I don't understand. If I got faster than she did, she would literally be mad at me. So I started waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning so that I could go ride by myself so that I could actually improve my skills. And then when I would ride with her, I would have to be lazy, not really do much. Just, it was the stupidest thing I ever witnessed in my life. If you are with somebody that's not actually helping you and you're not helping them, I'm not telling you that divorce is the way, but you should talk to them. You should literally say, hey, I've lost 15 pounds. You've lost 2. I'm sticking to the process. You're not. Why are you mad at me? You should be mad at yourself because you aren't following the process. That is what you should say. Everything is a process. As you've read my description of this channel, I am a performance process driven individual. I'm going to put a process in place so that I am successful. And as I move forward through this process that I'm going to create, if I fail, I figure out what part of the process caused me to fail. Let's say it's you're in the mall, you're hungry, and you walk past the pretzel place. All of a sudden, you want a damn pretzel. So you get a pretzel. Let's say you do that the next weekend, and the next weekend, and the next weekend. Now all of a sudden, you're not losing any more weight because that one pretzel's throwing your low carbohydrate diet off. So change your habit. Either don't go to the mall at all, don't go hungry, or don't walk by the pretzel place. It's that simple. You find the problem that's causing it. You find the problem that's causing the issue, and you put in a process so that it gets eliminated. It's not rocket science. So anyway, depending on how I feel, I will post a follow-up video to this. I've got so many other little tips and tricks to just help you get through this one change. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, your homework for the next 4 days. Figure out what that change is going to be and start getting your mind wrapped around it. And if you want, start practicing it now. If your goal is to walk around the block, start walking in the neighbor's house and back. If your goal is to save money for a trip, don't go buy that $6 latte. Put it in a savings account. You don't need the latte anyway. Just drink water. Coffee is the cheapest thing on the planet you can buy. You don't need all of that sugar and fake food chemicals that they put in those drinks anyway. I don't care if you're skinny or fat. Your body just doesn't need them. So figure out what that one thing is and start to practice it. Because come Monday morning, we're all in this boat. Okay? And I expect you guys to comment, say what it is you're doing, and let's start this group that's going to be doing this together so we can all help each other achieve whatever it is. So I will start. I'm going to cut down carbohydrates, 100 grams or less. I will gladly post what I'm eating every day. Like right now, I have 4 eggs with yolks and a full avocado on a plate in front of me right now that's been sitting here since I started this video with buffalo sauce on it. and I have my cup of coffee that has creamer in it. This creamer only has 4 grams of sugar per serving, but a serving is like 30 milliliters or 15 milliliters. I put like 90 in it. So over the next couple of days, that creamer's going bye-bye, and I'll start putting egg whites in it so that it'll kill that little bitter taste. And I will get my body to adjust to it and stick to it. Okay? Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.